Hello, my name's Aaron, and I have a severe problem with procrastination, bad habits, and a limiting mindset. If you know me at all, then you probably have some sort of idea of parts of my story, but for the sake of this video I'm going to assume that you don't, and I'm going to kind of quickly recap stuff and explain why I have such a problem and what I'm hopefully planning on doing about it. Doing things. It's always the first step. Probably. So around May 2014, I dropped out of sixth form. The courses I was doing, I just really wasn't enjoying them. I wasn't taking a great deal from them. Also, I was struggling really badly with anxiety and depression, which probably wasn't helping at all, really. So I dropped out May 2014. And in September 2014, I decided it would be a good idea to go to college. It's kind of more focused and less exam-based and things like that, and I thought maybe it would ease my troubled mind a little bit to be doing something. But of course, if you look back through my channel, you can pretty much figure out how that went. The teachers didn't really know anything about film, so it ended up that 90% of the time I was actually teaching them things that I'd learned off my own steam. The course was not what I expected it to be at all, and just wasn't something that I was interested in doing, and I was still suffering really badly with anxiety and depression, if not worse than I had been previously. Around December time, I started just not turning up. And then February of this year, 2015, I kind of officially dropped out. Which means for the past 5 months or so, I've been kind of swimming around in the ether, or as I like to call it, I've been outside of the system. Which for all intents and purposes means that I am effectively free to live my life however I want. Which as a kid who's been, part of this linear schooling structure system type thing for, the majority of my life is something, that I know appeals to a lot of people, this idea that you could just do what you want to do, but we're raised to believe that that's not something that's possible. And the thing is, it is. It is something that's possible, I mean, because I'm doing it right now, effectively, but it is also something that is very difficult and comes with its own sort of pros and cons list, it's not just oh, I can do whatever, I'm free as a bird, let's fly around, spinning on a chair. Can you do that in school? Probably, you probably can, but the idea still stands, because to be doing something yourself where you don't have that kind of constant daily structure or pressure or whatever it is that, comes inherently with being at school or something to that effect, you have to be very self-motivated and very self-driven. As someone who suffers really badly with procrastination, that's not an easy thing. Basically, those summers where you're really excited at first, and you're going out and you're doing all these things. After a while it's okay, I've kind of had too much time away from everything. I don't really have anything planned, I don't really have anything that I'm doing with myself. And it's yeah, it's cool that I can do things, but I don't really have anything to do. I have things that I want to do, but I'm not really doing them. Things like that, and you just end up spending the majority of your time at home, just doing the same things day in, day out, and you're it's kind of dull, kind of boring, and it's I don't like school, but I'd rather be back there right now, because at least I have something to do with my existence. That is what my entire life has become. Summers tend to be 6 weeks in the UK? I don't know what it is anywhere else in the world. The novelty kind of wears off after a few weeks, and towards the end it's starting to drag. I've been in that position for 5 months, and prior to that I was in this position last year as well. For the foreseeable future, this isn't going to change, because this is the life that I have chosen for myself. But it's I don't have a job. That's not for lack of trying, believe me. I have sent out hundreds of applications and things, and it's at the stage now where the act of seeking for and applying for jobs makes me feel physically sick. Obviously I don't go to school or college or university or anything like that. Because of how much I've moved around, I don't know anybody locally. So essentially I live in a city, quite a average sized city, where I literally know nobody, and I don't have any money because I don't have a job or do things, so I don't have any source of income, so I can't travel further afield to see the friends that I do have in other places, and all that sort of stuff takes a toll on you, especially when you're suffering in the mental department a bit. The thing with habits and patterns of thinking is that the more you do them and think them, the more they become firmly etched within your brain, and they actually form pathways and connections that are very difficult to break and rewire and things like that. Quite early on, I got into this sort of pattern of thinking like, well, if I don't want to do something, really there's no reason why I should do it. It got me into a pattern of like, I don't want to do this, I'm just not going to do it. Now I just kind of don't do things, even if I want to do them, which is really strange. I've had this problem for a couple of years now, and it's really confusing to me. For example, take the TV show Breaking Bad, okay? Like, it's a really good TV show in my opinion. When I wanted to get into film and stuff, it was a beautiful example of cinematography and editing, so it was a great kind of case study and it was a great thing to watch. I've done writing for quite a lot of my life, and it's, you know, a good sort of narrative. It's a good show, and it's something that I like. Been watching it for approximately a year now? Maybe a little over a year. I'm about halfway through the second season. Like, no word of a lie, I know people who've watched the entire thing in like a week. And it's not that it's something that I don't want to do, I just don't do it. This book, the second in the Game of Thrones series, it's a really good book. Like, when I'm sitting reading it, I'm like, dang, this is a good book. I've been reading it since approximately December last year. This is how far through I am. Like 200 and something, 268 pages in 7 months. That's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, I've read like 12 other books in the meantime, but like, why? Why can I not just stick to something? Literally look back over the course of this channel, how many times have I said that I'm gonna do weekly videos, that I'm gonna do videos on this day, that I'm gonna stick to this schedule. I have a daily vlogging channel. I've attempted to daily vlog 4 times, I think? 4 times, and I failed very badly. And I've actually attempted to do it another 3 or 4 times, and literally not even finished making the first video. I made a gaming channel where I was gonna do daily videos on there. They were daily for the first 2-3 days. There are 5 videos on there now. I haven't posted to it in a long time. Honestly, I'm just really bad at sticking to things. I don't know why it is. I genuinely don't know why it is, because it's not even always that it's things that I don't want to do. It's when you get into that frame of mind where you're like, I don't really feel like doing that today, even though it's something that I like doing. And then you just don't do it, and then you just never do it again for like a ridiculously long period of time. And that is what I'm stuck in with literally everything, and I don't really do things, and I'm struggling a lot. I don't know what to do. So I've decided to create a series. I've called it Procrastinate. Nah, mate. Because we don't want to procrastinate, and I thought if I make this series, it's going to hopefully be weekly on Fridays, for no other reason than because today's Friday. We're going to hopefully make this weekly series where we beat procrastination together. So I'm going to try and do things, see if I can, you know, find some tips and things for beating procrastination and for rewiring habits and brain things. And if you have any habits or tips or suggestions or things that you think I should do with my existence, then you can kind of leave those. Every Friday you give me a boot up the arse like, hey Aaron, you said you were going to make a video about procrastinating and you haven't done it. Kind of ironic. And then I make a thing, kind of like a weekly progress report, like how things are going. Together we will change the world, or at least our minds. The idea is that I will be creating other videos throughout the week that are related to things that I'm doing. With this weekly series, I'm getting into a mindset of doing things. The process of doing those things will give me more things to make more things about, and through repetition I can rewire the bad wiring in my brain stem cell thing, brain place box, and I can get through this. But the idea in making a series and posting it to YouTube, besides the act of physically doing something, is also the act of putting it somewhere where other people can see it and hopefully help. Basically help is what I'm saying. I'm in a very bad place. I have been for a very long time, and it's very difficult, and I need help. Basically, please help me. And on that utterly pathetic, catastrophic note, I am gonna end this first ramble in the series of documenting battle against wiring my own head box. Thank you for watching. If you want to partake in the series and learn and grow with me, then feel free to subscribe and follow along. I hope you're having a good day. I will see you some other time, hopefully next week, if not before. Yeah. Good. Yes. Quality content.